Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Darrow here with another Options in Play video update. So this is a quick take after the FOMC decision, which just came out within the last few minutes. So things are kind of developing pretty quick. But I wanted to highlight this. I wanted to highlight gold because this is something that we've been watching. Something that we were involved with for long stretches in this November, December, January, February, right? And then just revisit the idea within the last couple weeks. So uh, this is kind of a fast developing trade, like I said, and really has turned pretty dramatically higher in the aftermath of the FOMC rate decision. And the reason for that, if I pull it up, so the reason for that, you can see the dramatic move, right? So this is like a 5-minute intraday chart. I'll go back to the daily. So you can see that there's a really sharp spike, and the reason is because the Fed indicated lower for longer. They said that there's no rate hike expected this year, and there's only one expected next year. This year, obviously, most people weren't expecting it. Next year, people weren't sure what to expect, but one rate hike probably on the low end, and that means it could start to see inflation increase a little bit, right? So lower for longer, that's good for gold and silver. It also hurts the dollar, which are these are dollar-denominated commodities along with oil. So with the dollar UUP, all right, dollar you can see took a nosedive today. With the dollar retreating, that's good for gold, silver, oil, among other things. And what's really interesting about gold is the weekly. So you had like this really great move right out of what had been like kind of like a long period of underperformance, right? So really sharp downtrend. Finally busted it, right? December drove it higher. This was like about a 50% retracement, right? And what really got me interested was this. So just go back to the weekly here. This. So you can see the 8 EMA weekly. This is the 8 EMA weekly, the green line, right? Big area on the way up. Broke it. Couldn't get back through, right? Couldn't get back through. Finally back through, right? So now it's resetting like this really aggressive trend with really strong fundamental news driving it, right? So it had great momentum after turning the corner, right? So really strong momentum, lost some of that. Now resetting momentum with fundamental news driving it, and this is really something that could develop pretty quick. That's why I wanted to highlight it. What I like to see is now I want to see it hold above 124, right? Hold above like the top of this recent resistance, hold above the top of the 20, and see if this can't build for another run up into like the high 20s, retest this 127. We've had like these waves of basically buying, right? So you get wave, pause, wave, and then rolled over. So if you get another wave, you're looking for a retest of 127 and potentially higher prices. If you don't have gold, right, or if you focus more on the gold miners, GDX on a daily chart, still kind of in this head and shoulders band. If it gets through 23, could really start to go with like a quick retest of the high. What I had highlighted here is this. You can see that the GDX could be bumping up. If it gets up to 2350 to retest the high from just a couple weeks ago, it would be threatening a pretty significant break of a 2-year downtrend, right? You can see very clean downtrend here. So gold shaping up nicely. GDX not quite there yet, but if the GDX does get up to that 2350, 2375 area to retest the high from a couple weeks, that could actually set up a much more substantial multi-period breakout. And just taking a look at options right now, the GDX options out through May, so a couple months swing, right? That's kind of like the timeline I like for swings. Pricing in only about $1.50. Not too bad, right? I mean, if you get a retest of this level, it's about $1. So high from a couple weeks ago, and then you get a potential multi-year pent-up breakout. Could carry it up past 25. So a couple months swing in these GDX options, not a bad looking bet, right? for GLD, it's a little bit different, but if it does get up through 127, the next real key area is going to be 130, right? Which you can see has been a top several times. And the GLD options out through May are pricing in about, say, like 375. So again, not bad. I mean, like that would basically $3.50 to retest the high from a couple weeks ago, and then if it can extend through that, you may be looking at like a 5.5 move up into like the 130 range. So that May time frame, take a look at it. Okay, I again very fast developing, but it's something that I've been focused on. I wrote it up. We had gold open in December, January, and February. So this is something I'm sure you guys are familiar with. But it's starting to look good again. It's got the fundamental news driving it higher now. Options aren't too bad a couple months out. So take a look, all right? As always, love to hear from you. So questions or comments, what you think about gold, what you think about GDX, what you think about any trades that are open or any trades that might be on your radar. Definitely reach out. I'd love to hear from you, all right? So I hope you guys have a great night. Best of luck if you're playing anything, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow, all right?